In 2 days' time, I am flying to Japan for a 3-week-long cherry blossom photography trip. And because I'm going away, I need a quick video to have uploaded before I go. So let's talk about what I'm bringing with me. Originally, I hadn't actually planned for a trip at this time of year, but a friend who was living in Canada sent me a message saying, "Hey, I'm going to Japan for this time and it happens to be cherry blossom time. What do you think?" And then something really strange happened and I slipped on a glacé cherry and booked flights to Japan. So now I'm going. And unfortunately that means I also have to figure out what to pack. So let's go through it. Here is most of the gear that I'm going to be bringing with me to Japan on this trip. I'm going to be shooting digital and film, and this time I'm actually going to be shooting 35mm and medium format at the same time. So let's start with the photography gear because that's what all of you are interested in, and the YouTube metrics will tank the moment I stop talking about it. First up, we have stuff that goes in the suitcase when I'm traveling, and that includes things like a dark bag. If you're traveling with film, you need to bring a dark bag. It's also quite thick and heavy, so it acts as padding inside the suitcase, but if I have any trouble with film cameras, I need this to be able to unload it and make the film light tight again. So that goes into the suitcase, and then alongside it goes my tripod. This is the Peak Design travel tripod where I've put my own ball head on top of it because I really hate the ball head that comes on the Peak Design by default. I originally had a two-way geared head and a leveling base, but it got really bulky and annoying to deal with, so I'm back to using a ball head. I think I might actually get a different tripod at some point in the future, but that goes into the suitcase as well. Also into the suitcase will go this long ass Arca Swiss plate, which has two Fallcam f38 quick releases on it, which allows me to mount two cameras on the same tripod. So when you're shooting film and digital, I can shoot the scene on both. So I can have the Z8 over here, for example, and then the F6 or the Bronica here. And then all of this will get lapped up in clothes and stuff to keep it from getting damaged while in the hold of the aircraft. So when I'm traveling, I actually use two bags. My backpack is the Lowepro ProTactic 350 AW version 2. It's a really nice bag because it is just the right size for walkabout traveling and going to take a deliberate picture. So if I've got a particular frame of Osaka Castle I want to take, I will pack the camera gear into this and bring it up there and set up, and I'll have all my gear with me. And then the second bag I bring with me is my Tenba DNA 15 DSLR messenger bag. And this is actually my day bag when I'm just walking about, taking snapshots and enjoying my trip. So in here I'll have one, maybe two cameras, some food, you know, the Pocket 3 and a few other bits in here for just walkabout photography. Both of these bags, by the way, get brought onto the plane with me. The two bags together are actually small enough to be stacked and go in the overhead. And when I'm traveling, this bag contains all of the camera gear, while this bag contains things like my tablet and my headphones and various things I'd like to use on the flight. So first up, I'm obviously going to bring a digital camera. It's the Z8 with the 24-120 f4S lens. I'd have to be absolutely stupid not to bring this camera. It's the greatest digital camera currently available, in my opinion. And not because I have buyer's remorse or anything. Now it's actually a great camera. It does internal RAW, 8K video, you know, N-Log, compressed video. It's just amazing. 45 megapixel stills. What more could you want? So for film cameras, I'm actually bringing two with me. I am bringing the Bronica SQA with the 645 back because I've really gotten into shooting 645 lately. I found it much easier to shoot than 6x6. And I'm bringing this with the 80mm lens. It's f2.8. waist level finder and with the hand cranking on the side, and I'm not bringing any other medium format gear with me, just this camera, which I'm planning to shoot a lot of slides of cherry blossoms on. When it comes to 35mm film camera, I want to bring one with me, and I thought about bringing the Contax G again, but for this trip I'm going to do something a little different. And I'm going to take the F6 with the 24-120 G lens. So this lens is fully compatible on the F6, and it means I'll be able to just use it like a digital camera, and it should be able to take all the photos I want. One issue I had with the G1 is that I often had to compromise on certain compositions where I want to take pictures in the Z8, and then the film pictures always looked a bit weird because I wasn't able to get the focal length to match, or I wasn't able to, you know, zoom in and crop the image as much. So that's why I'm going to bring the 24-120G for film. For spare lenses, I'm going to bring the F to Z adapter and the 50mm 1.8G. It's a cheap lens, it's great. It'll probably end up on the F6 most of the time anyway when I'm out and about taking snapshots. So fast 50, something I always travel with. And honestly, when it comes to travel photography, a 24-120 f4 and a fast 50 is all you really need. You don't need any other lenses. Now this will cover 99% of your photography, unless you're me, because I'm also bringing my PCE 24mm 3.5. Now I've actually modified this tilt shift lens to have the axes together so you can shift up and down and also lay down your depth of field at the same time, which is very useful for landscape photography. I think this is going to be really nice. I bought this on my summer trip to Asia last year and it was an absolute delight to shoot with this. I was able to get some really crazy pictures, so definitely bringing that this year. Next up we have some filters. I'm only bringing 3 filters, a variable ND for the 24-120 for video shooting, and I'm bringing 2 polarizers, both 77mm, one for each of the cameras because both of them have the same filter thread. And something I've found is that if you're shooting slide film in particular, having a polarizer is super important to cut those specular highlights, and it really lets the color shine on slide film. It just looks awesome. Now I have this picture of a cheetah in the Masai Mara with and without the polarizer on Ektachrome, and it looks a lot better with the polarizer. Then in one of the side pouches on the bag, I'm going to bring this. It's a small rig mini tripod. This is great for like setting up on walls and little small places like that. Just a really handy little gadget for taking shots when you need to. I'm also going to bring this. This is a clamp. You should absolutely have one of these when you're traveling. It's just awesome because you can just unfold it. I have a small rig magic arm here. And then this can just be clamped onto, you know, railings and poles and everything. And in any places where you're not allowed to have a tripod, you can actually bring one of these in a lot of places and they don't mind, so long as you keep it out of the way and a bit hidden and they don't know about it. As for other things that I'm bringing, I always bring a set of cables and adapters. So this is a 4TB SSD. It's the Crucial X9. Great little SSD. I also bring my card reader, some USB A to C cables along with a USB A hub, because the Surface Pro that I have doesn't actually have multiple USB ports, so I need to plug everything into it. So all that can just be dumped in here. And that's pretty much it for this backpack. And there are some other things that I'll bring, you know, pack of rubber bands for 120 film to keep it lapped up so it doesn't spring apart. Quick release plate adapters. This is very cool. This is a little small rig toolkit. It always travels with me. It has a tool for doing up tripod plates. Great little gadget. Other thing is my Pentax digital spot meter. I'm actually debating whether to bring this or not because I'm planning to use the Reveni Labs meter. I'm wondering, should I bring this with me and just put it in the suitcase as an emergency thing in case the Reveni Labs meter doesn't work out, or do I leave it at home and save space? Also things like, you know, lens caps, spare body caps. Should always travel with a bunch of those. There's a silicone, whatever you want to call it. Lens hood for shooting through glass. A lot of times when you're in cities like Tokyo, at observation decks, there's a picture I'm actually planning to take of the Tokyo Tower from that new skyscraper. And you need kind of something like this to block reflections off the glass. Just squeeze that in there somewhere, it'll be fine. And that's pretty much it for this bag. It's ready to go. Next up we have this MacGuffin, which is my Surface Pro 6. This has 2 jobs. Its primary job is to back up files when I'm on the go. So this allows me to copy everything from my memory cards to those SSDs earlier. And the second job is to be an in-flight entertainment device. Then we have a little mouse. I bring a little Bluetooth mouse with me. It makes copying files so much easier. Dealing with it on Windows and navigating using the touchscreen sucks ass. So I just bring a little cheap Bluetooth mouse with me as well. Now you might have noticed I haven't mentioned camera batteries yet. That is because when I'm traveling, the camera batteries all go in here and not in the backpack, because if you have big batteries in the backpack, when you're at security in the airport, they often ask you to take them out so they can check their capacity. But if you have them in here, it's nice and handy. Now for managing batteries, I actually have this, which is something I got recently, and it's called the TriCharge. Now this is made by Jupio, I think it's pronounced. But it's made in conjunction with some YouTuber, and I have to say it's a really, really cool design. So what this is a USB-C charger for 3 Nikon batteries. I believe there's a Sony and a Canon version as well. But this lets me put 3 batteries in here in a nice holder, and it keeps them all together, but it has a single USB-C input that will charge all the batteries. But also what's very cool is that it has a USB-C output, and this means it can act as an emergency battery bank. So normally when I'm traveling, I actually bring this with me, which is a little NPF battery and the Blind Spot Power Junkie, and these stay in this bag for the entire duration of the trip, and they're specifically here to act as emergency power for when my phone runs out of power and I need to be able to find where the hell I'm going in the middle of Tokyo or somewhere and not get completely lost. But now with this acting as my emergency bank, I don't need to bring this at all. It also has on the top of it a bunch of slots for memory cards. So this one has CF Express slots, 3 of them, 3 SD card slots and 2 micro SD card slots. So this now acts as safe storage for all of my memory cards. And that means I don't have to bring this Pelican card case anymore. So I can just leave this behind. And also because this TriCharger is a USB-C charger, and I bring a big USB-C charging brick with multiple outputs when I'm traveling, and because this thing is actually really cool, it means that I don't have to bring all of this stuff with me. I can just leave it all at home. So this just goes in here. Next thing I'm bringing with me is my DJI Pocket 3. This is amazing. I used it on my Kenya trip to film all the stuff kind of behind the scenes for that video. Next thing we have is a portable battery bank. I always travel with a battery bank. It's a very slim battery bank, which means it will fit in the seat pocket in front of me on the plane. I also travel with this, which is called the AirFly. It's a little Bluetooth audio dongle that plugs into the in-flight entertainment system. My headphones, my precious, precious headphones. These are the Bose Quiet Comfort 45s, and I am now so dependent on these for flying. It's gotten to the point where if I was to forget these, I'd actually buy a new pair in the airport just so I wouldn't have to deal with the noise of the plane. If you haven't flown with noise cancelling headphones, they're absolutely amazing and you should totally get a set. And then of course we've got the last thing we're going to need, which is film. So here we have some film baggies. This one's full of Ektachrome. Obviously I'm not going to bring all of this, but I always pack my film in clear Ziploc bags ready for hand inspection at the airports. Sometimes I get a hand inspection, sometimes I don't. It can be a bit hit or miss. I've gotten it most airports I go to, and I found that if you're really apologetic and really nice, they will actually, hand check your films. But the film baggies go into my bag, ready for an easy hand check. And that is pretty much it for how I'm packing all my gear for this trip. So actually when this video comes out, I will be in Aomori in the top of Honshu in Japan with my friend, and then I'm traveling down to Tokyo together for a few days, and then he's flying home and I'm spending another 2 weeks around the Kansai area doing the cherry blossoms. I've managed to time the trip to be perfect with the forecast. Hopefully I'll get some really good pictures. That's it. See you next time.